Welcome back to my channel. So first thing we're going to do is fill in our brows. I'm using the Anastasia Brow Definer in the shade Chocolate, and I'm just going to quickly fill in my brows with this pencil. Next, I'm using some concealer on a little concealer brush from Sephora, and I'm just going to clean up the brows. This really helps if you have like brow hairs that you haven't plucked or anything. It just gives you a much more cleaner look. If you've done your brows, you don't necessarily need to do this unless you want to, just to have a nice sharp brows on fleek. First shadow we're going to go in with is called Peach Smoothie. It's by makeupgeek, and I'm using this on a M513 brush by Morphe, and I'm applying this all over my lid and up into the crease as well. So this is going to be like a base color for us. This eyeshadow look is pretty simple. It's very like a classic glamorous look, so it's not going to be too hard. We're going to focus mainly on the face for this look and make sure that everything is nice and set. So next shade we're using is Creme Brulee, and I'm using this on a R37, and I'm applying this mainly in the crease. You don't have to use these exact shades, of course. You can just use whatever you have at home. Everybody always has, or I hope everybody always has, nice blending shades, like light to darkish brown shades, which is exactly what we use in this look. And I'm going back in with the M513 and just blending those two colors in together. Next, I'm using the shade Cocoa Bear. This is also by makeupgeek, and I'm going to use this on a M433 brush, and I'm applying this a little bit lower in the crease and also in the outer corner of the eye. And of course, I also have that shadow shield guard thingy, so this is also going to give us a nice, clean, sharp line. I'm going back in with the R37 and just blending those two colors in together. Okay, next I'm taking this pressed pigment by Morphe. It's called Mimosa Sunday. It's a nice champagne-y color. I'm going to take some on my finger first and just dab it onto my lid. I'm not doing my entire lid, just about like 3/4 of the lid, leaving the end bare. So I'm just going to tap that on. And then next I'm going to go in with the MAC 242 and just kind of define like the edges of that shadow. And I'm also going to take a little bit of Fix Plus and dip my brush in there and then apply more of that shade, just so we get more of an intense look. We get more payoff from that color. I'm just dabbing it on. I'm going to go back in with the M433 and just lightly blend out the edges. Now I'm taking Espresso by MAC. This is like a darkish brown color, and I'm just going to apply that right in the corner of my eye. And the brush I'm using is a E36. I'm going back in with the M433 and just lightly blending that out. Shade I'm taking is Champagne Night. This is also a pressed pigment by Morphe. It's like a stark white color, and I'm going to use this to highlight my brow bone. I'm using this on a MAC 228 brush. I also use this shade to highlight the inner corner of my brow, which I don't show you later because I forgot to film that part, but I use that shade to highlight the inner corner as well. And I'm just taking the R37, just blending that shade out. And for liner today, I'm using Liquid Liner by Tarte. This one stays on really good throughout the day, so it's perfect for like a long day like this, for a graduation or something like that. And I'm just gonna use that shadow shield as a guide to draw my wing liner. So if you have a hard time drawing your wing, you can always use like tape or a shadow shield like this just to get a nice sharp line. And you can see now, we're going to peel it off and voila! Perfect little line. Okay, so I'm going to take the, what shade? The MAC Espresso shade again, and just use that to apply that on my lower lash line with a Morphe M432 brush. And right underneath that, I'm going to take Cocoa Bear on a E18 and just smudge that underneath that shadow. I didn't apply any liner in my lower waterline. You can if you want to, I just decided not to. I did do liner on my upper waterline though, just to tight line. I'm just gonna curl my lashes, and apply some mascara. I'm using Grandiose mascara by Lancôme. This is one of my absolute favorite mascaras of all time. I'm just gonna apply a light coat on my top lashes and on my bottom lashes as well. I am gonna use falsies today. I use Tarte lashes in the style Center of Attention, but you don't have to if you don't want to. Especially like in a graduation, I just felt like I probably won't on my graduation, but if you want, you know, that's an option. Lashes are always an option. Moving on to the face, make sure you moisturize with a high sunscreen and prime really well because you want your foundation to last all day long. So the primer I'm using is by Makeup Forever, and it is the Step 1 Skin Equalizer. And I'm just applying this with my fingers. Make sure your fingers are clean. And next I'm also using this Nars Primer. It's like a pore filling primer, the line filling one. And I just use that on the areas where I get a little bit more creasing, and which is like my smile lines and underneath the eyes. I'm just rubbing that in with my fingers. And for foundation, I'm using Tan Idol Ultra Foundation by Lancôme. My absolute favorite foundations ever. This is a 24-hour makeup, so it stays on literally all day long. It will not budge or smear. It is sweat proof. It is transfer free. So this is a perfect foundation for an all-day wear. And I'm just using a bloody blender, a beauty blender, to blend that out. Now I'm going to take Tarte Shape Tape Concealer and just use that to conceal underneath my eyes. And I'm going to use that same beauty blender just to blend that out. And I'm also taking a blending brush by Morphe. I forgot the name of this one, I'll list it down below. And I'm just going over that concealer. I'm just moving it around to the areas where I like a little bit more highlight, a little bit lighter. And to set everything, I'm going to use Laura Mercier translucent powder. I'm just going to dab that on with a E40 brush. So I'm dabbing it and then I'm going to sweep it over. So you just want to make sure you always push everything into your skin first and then sweep it over. It's going to help with the longevity of your foundation and your powders and everything else. Okay, taking Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, I'm taking that center shade and I'm just going to use that to set the concealer underneath my eyes. And this is the Kat Von D Shade and Light brush. And I'm going to take all three of those bronzing shades and just use the flip side of that brush and just bronze my entire face. So I'm going to do the cheekbones, along the forehead, along the jawline, and along the nose as well. And to bronze the nose, I'm using the brush, I think it's the M506 brush by Morphe. I'm using the shade Songbird. This is a blush by Becca, and I'm using it on a E48 brush by Morphe. It's a nice peachy shade. For highlight, this is a Lancôme highlight, a dual finish highlighter in the shade Sparkling Peche or Peach, I don't know. And the brush I'm using is a M510 brush. I'm just going to apply the highlight along my cheekbones, the high points of my cheekbones, along the center of my nose, and on top of my lips. And for lipstick, I'm using Lolita. This is a perfect shade. You can use this shade and wear any type of dress. It goes with pretty much anything and everything. And this is Lolita 2. Yeah, not the original Lolita. And I'm just going to lock in my brows with some clear brow gel by Anastasia Beverly Hills. And we're just going to lock in the entire face with a setting spray. So this will melt all the powders and the liquids all together and just make it look nice. And this is the final look, you guys. This routine will definitely last you your entire day. So you know, you won't have like your foundation wearing off in the heat or anything like that. I've done this look many times and it's foolproof. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and until next time, bye.